Hi guys, this video is to show you how to view your test results in Aware. So we're going to go to Aware, and I want you to be in the Analyze tab up in the top left. And you're going to start by choosing a class. And then you're going to choose Team Test because all of these assessments that we're giving are team tests. You're going to choose Arts. You're going to choose the current year. You're going to choose Secondary, and then finally you get to choose the name of the assessment that you want to evaluate. Okay, so we're going to look there. And what pops up is a list of our students in this class and how they scored on this assessment. All right, so something really valuable, I think, is this little button right here that's called Color Results, because it really helps things stand out. Data in spreadsheets sometimes can be very hard to read. But like here, I can see that 5 students have met expectation on this assessment. And that's not unusual because this is the kind of the pre-assessment. Just so you know, the reason that Masters is saying no all the way down is because on this particular assessment, the threshold for mastery was 100%. So the color coding is really nice. I want to show you what these buttons up here in the top right do. So the little guy on the far right with the little orange hat is the individual student view that we're looking at right now. If you move over to the person wearing red, this is your teacher summary. And you'll notice that I don't think this is the entire teacher summary. I don't know this particular teacher, but I think this is just this class probably. I can tell because there's only 16 students that this data is covering. But I can see for those 16 students what the average percent score was, and the average raw score on the test, what that was. So this is for the individual class or teacher. And then we have the building over here is your campus data. So for our entire campus, some of you have more than one teacher. This will give you your average score for your campus. And then if you go to the little globe, and notice as I hover over these, a little thing pops up and tells me what that button will do. If I click on that, I can see the overall average for the entire district. And you'll notice that now the total number of students is 2,466. So I know that that is a lot of students. That's the whole district. Okay. So let me go back to my individual student view because I want to show you some of the other reports that you can look at as well that are helpful. This drop-down menu right up here at the top is going to give you the access to the different reports. The next one we're going to look at is the Student Learning Standard Breakdown, but I want you to notice there's actually 2 of those. There's the Student Learning Standard Breakdown, and then there's one with an asterisk, and it's also called the Student Learning Standard Breakdown. We are going to look first at the one without the asterisk, okay? And what we've done is we have associated a learning standard with every question on that test. In fact, we actually associated 2 learning standards with every question on that test, one of them being the high school TEK and one of them being the middle school TEK. Now, on this particular assessment, most of the TEKs were the same between the high school and the middle school. So, for example, the question that had 1B as the TEK, that was 1B in high school, and it was also 1B in middle school. However, there were some questions that fell under the TEK 2C for middle school, and for high school, those questions were associated with 2F. And so what we did was both of those are actually in here. If you look at the column for 2C and you look at the column for 2F, they are actually identical because they are referencing the same set of questions, okay? So you just need to know if you're a high school person, you're going to be looking at the 2F and you're going to ignore 2C. And if you are a middle school person, you're going to look at 2C and ignore 2F. Okay? All right, so let's color code this again because that's a lot of numbers. But this will help you by objective kind of see where your strengths and weaknesses are. All right? Now, the difference between this report and the one with the asterisk, if I look at, say, question 1D, and I notice that, ooh, my kids did really, really well on that objective. But I also noticed that the scores are all either 100 or 0. That makes me wonder, well, how many questions were there on that objective? The asterisk report will tell you. So when you look at the asterisk student learning standard breakdown, you'll see that 1D tells you how many questions out of the total number of questions the student got right. So instead of just giving the percentage, it gives you a little bit more information. The reason that we like both reports and to go back and forth is that this one doesn't color code, right? It doesn't color code this part. So it's kind of nice to go back and forth between the two just to get as much information as we can. All right. The next report that I want to show you is the student individual responses. Now, this may or may not be helpful to you on the class level or the individual student level right here, because it'll show you the right answer indicated with the plus and whether the student got that question right or wrong. I want you to notice there's two lines horizontally of objectives. The top line is the high school objectives for each question, and the bottom line is the middle school objectives for each question. And do notice that when I hover over an objective, the text pops up so you don't have to memorize what is 2C. It will tell you that, okay? So this, I don't know, this may or may not be helpful to you. I think it gets really helpful when you get to the district summary, because it will tell you what percentage of students chose each answer choice. So for example, if I look at question 2, 64% of students got that question right. But when I look at the students that chose the wrong answer, there were a huge number of them. Most of the kids that missed it chose answer choice C. So I can go back to the test and look at what was answer choice C. Why would the students have chosen that answer versus the correct one? Obviously, that was the good distractor. So you're looking for like high numbers that might pop up here in the red, okay? So notice that the top section here is for all students, but you can also break that down by some of your special populations, okay? And you can do the same report, by the way, at the school level. And then I think that's the last thing that I was going to show you. So I just want to encourage you, if you have any trouble reading your data or accessing your data, please go talk to your campus DLC because all of us use Aware and are very willing to help you find everything that you need in there. Okay? Have a great day.